We are Chris Lee, Blake Lovell, and Blayne Gilmer of Southeastern 14 making bold predictions for the 2023 SEC football season for each team. Blake Lovell, you start us off. What is your bold prediction for LSU football this year?
Well, this old Heisman race, they like to call it. Usually we see a lot of offensive players there and I'm scrolling down the Vegas Insider website right now, folks. And let me tell you, there are a lot of offensive players near the top of this Heisman Award winner category in terms of the odds. But you keep scrolling down about 50 plus players into this thing, and you'll see a name there. And it's not an offensive guy, it's a defensive guy. And that is Harold Perkins, who is way, way, way down there at like plus 15,000 are the odds. No, I'm not going to go as bold to say as he's going to win the Heisman, but I am going to tell you that I think when we get late into the season, there is going to be a push because of what this guy has done to put him in the Heisman conversation based on what he achieves this season for LSU. As everyone knows, if you're an LSU fan, you've watched any video we've done on LSU this offseason, we're all very high on LSU. And I know a lot of the focus has been on the offense and all the different playmakers and everything, but we've said, you look on the defensive side, there are some dudes there, and they're led by the dude himself, Harold Perkins. And so I'm going to say that Harold Perkins is at some point late in the season in the Heisman conversation. I don't know if he makes it to New York, but he will have put together a resume this season that will support any sort of argument for him to at least be in the conversation.
Going to get the Ndamukong Suh treatment, huh? Get in there and the defensive player that gets to go be the show pony. You just get to be over there and get all the love, but you're not going to get the award. So, Chris, am I up next?
You are up next.
All right, up next. So here we go. Last year, Jayden Daniels was not named the starter until fall camp. So he had to compete with Miles Brennan and Garrett Nussmeier and all these guys for the quarterback spot. So he didn't really have a hold on that leadership position, right? He kind of had to earn it throughout the year. And boy, did he, with his toughness, running the football, being the leading rusher, what he was able to do throughout that season for LSU. He's one of those Heisman Trophy top contenders like Blake was talking about. You find a lot of those offensive guys. Well, his name's squarely right up in there. But he's coming back, and I'm going to kind of make a parallel here to, Stetson Bennett was kind of that same situation in 2021. He kind of had to win the job a couple games in. Then he took over. They were really successful at Georgia. Of course, theirs turned into a national championship. But then that next year, he had all offseason knowing he was the guy. He was the guy, got to build that rapport and get that respect from his team. Jayden Daniels is getting that same treatment this offseason. He is the bona fide guy. He was at SEC Media Days. He is the leader. He is who everybody is looking to. And because of that and because of the continuity they have, not only on the coaching staff, but across the offensive line, bringing back both Will Campbell and Emory Jones, who were freshman tackles last year, a nice core of running backs that has experience and the best wide receiving core in the SEC, bar none. You are going to see LSU jump up from 34 points per game last year up to they're going to average 41 points a game this year and be a top 5 scoring team in the entire country. That would have put them squarely in the top 5 if that had happened a year ago. And just for reference point, that's still scoring a lot of points. It's not quite 2019 LSU with Joe Burrow where they were averaging over 48 a game, but this LSU offense is going to be very special, and it's going to be one that's more balanced this year under Brian Kelly and Mike Denbrock in year 2. Chris, it's going to be a explosive offense for LSU in 2023.
Oh, okay, I got a confession. You guys both made me really nervous. We don't always compare picks on these ahead of time because sometimes I just like to hear what you guys say and react in real time, and that's kind of fun. And Blake, you started talking about the Heisman Trophy, and you made me nervous. And Blayne, you started talking about Jayden Daniels and all the stuff he did to win the job and how great he was, and you made me nervous because I thought both of you were going to steal my pick. Neither of you did. My bold prediction for LSU football this year, your Heisman Trophy winner is the quarterback of your Fighting Tigers, Jayden Daniels. Jayden Daniels goes to New York, brings home the trophy. And if he does so, LSU is going to have a great year, which I think LSU is going to have anyway. But Jayden Daniels, your Heisman winner, you heard it here.
Listen, we know, as Blake said in our group text, when the fight broke out on the field, Blake texted LSU going undefeated, because if you're throwing fisticuffs and you're out there, everybody was like clutching their pearls. They're like, oh, Brian Kelly, there's a problem on the team. No, if you've played football before, if you don't have some good fighting going on in camp, if you're not pulling somebody's face mask up and trying to get a couple shots in on there, then you have not started to actually compete there. And by the way, with Blake's pick of Harold Perkins and him going to New York, how much of a beast he is, that tells you what it's like if Malik Neighbors is going after him, a guy that dangerous over there. That tells you that there is I know they're the Tigers, but there's some dog in that guy over there, and that's what you want over there with Malik Neighbors and that offense. So I think it's going to be a special season for LSU.
Yeah, if you guys think camp fights are uncommon, I darn near witnessed two within the last week. I'll just leave it at that. All right.
And that was it.
We're going to be making,
I mean, good Lord,
that's
about as sterile environment as you get, and they still are fighting out there.
Right. You saw some stuff. Yeah. All right, guys, we're making picks on every single SEC team for this season. Bold predictions. So if we haven't gotten to your team yet, we will. Best way to catch those, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. That helps our analytics. He is Blake Lovell. He is Blayne Gilmer. I'm Chris Lee. We're Southeastern 14. We'll see you again soon with more SEC football content.